Angeles Rams. 6 years with the Los Angeles Rams, going to one Super Bowl in 1979, and Tampa Bay for 2 years, and then finished up in Detroit with the Detroit Lions. While I was at the Detroit Lions, me and another guy that's on here, David Hill, we swapped places. He was in Detroit and he came to Los Angeles. I was in Los Angeles and I went to Detroit. So anyway, we are here to share our experience with the stem cell technology, which is, I'm telling you, next level. Football players, if you play any term of time, the average lifespan of a football player is less than 3 years, okay? That is the life of a football player on average. I played 9 years. David played what? What'd you play, David? 12 years? What did you play? I don't even know. I can't, but the bottom line is that we walk away from the game with certain ailments, and you can't get away from that. And I can just go to town with the fact that these patches that I put on my freaking body every freaking day, every 12 hours, it's unbelievable the relief that I have gotten. The headaches are gone. The joint pain is gone. I'm actually active and alive, and that's the bottom line. I've always been an athlete. I'm going to go to the grave being an athlete, and these patches are the key.
So Ivory, what position did you play in the NFL? What were you, and what does that position do?
I was a safety. And we intercept the ball. I was more known for my physical play, and by physical, I mean, well, you guys didn't hear this, knocking people out for a living. Anyway, and hampering the passing game of my opponents. So that's really what I did. I made, the Pro Bowl list in 1984 and 85, and I played special teams. That's how I got into the league. So, and that's mostly hitting people. That's the bottom line. So that's what you're getting, right?
David, are you there?
I'm here, yes.
What did you do, David, in your day? Like, what was your position? I should know all of this, but I don't. What did you do?
Well, Ivory would hit people when they weren't looking at him. That's while I was looking at them and they were looking at me. I played tight end 12 years, 7 years in Detroit, 5 years with the Los Angeles Rams. And so, yeah, I played tight end. I was a pass receiving tight end in Detroit. And when I got here, because Eric Dickerson was here with the Rams at the time, I became a blocking tight end. So I had basically two types of careers. One is a receiver catching balls, running touchdowns, dancing in the end zone in Detroit. And then I came to Los Angeles and I became another offensive tackle.
So I want to know who, like you guys, when did you guys play together? You met in Detroit, is that right?
No. Well, yes, but it was, Ivory went to Detroit, when I came out here, correct?
87, I went to Detroit. And so we played on the Rams. We played on the Rams for a couple of years, right? With
together?
Eric.
Is that how you met each other, more in the Rams, when you were in the Rams together?
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about, and we'll get into technology in a minute, but I just want to know a little bit about the NFL and about team building and playing as teams. Like, did you know of each other, but not know each other, and then what did you think of each other, not, hearing of each other's names versus when you got to know each other as like playing on the same team? Was there a difference? Like, did you guys have reputations?
Well, I mean, for me, I always knew, especially defensive backs, which was what Ivory played. You knew, what their reputation was. Whether there were people who would come up and hit you, late, or try to take you out and things of that nature. So you sort of understood that, but you knew they were just doing their job, and of course, your job was to try to tear their head off. So So, so when Ivory talks about some of the things we went through, like now they throw a penalty every time you get hit. Well, back in those days, defensive back or linebacker, or you could take your shot and they wouldn't throw a flag. So so we sort of probably got worse injuries than they do now. They sort of protected players. So that was the reason why eventually I had to find something that would help. And I'm not a person that takes a lot of pills or aspirin or anything like that. So that's why X39 was a great find for me, and it's been helpful ever since.
So what do you mean by that, David? Like and forgive me, I should know football better. Please forgive me being naive, okay? But so I'm just thinking, I mean, I've seen you in your pictures, David, in your day, and you are like you were massive, okay? So you were like offense tight end running that ball, and Ivory as safety would have to tackle you. Is that right?
Right, and there was such a difference in size, because I was probably like maybe 265, 270 when Ivory was trying to tackle me downfield, and Ivory was probably like, they probably like 130 pounds or something.
See, that's when you get your stuff. I love David. That's why I love David. This is what Marci. We played positions. Iron sharpens iron. That's the bottom line. And that's what the deal was with me and David. Iron sharpened iron. David was a great tight end. I had to go ahead and work my butt off to make sure he didn't, make a fool out of me every day.
Okay, wait. Rewind. So you're 270, David. How much are you really how much do you really weigh, Ivory, as a safety? Like 200? Oh. Like you have to be lighter because you have to go after receivers too, right?
Yeah, I was 215, but the reason why 215 is a different thing. When you got 215 running at you at a 4.240 pace, that speed, which makes violence, that's it. See, so speed really is the thing, that you carry up with you. So
you're saying that you had speed in 215 against David's 275. Is that what's going on?
That's right. And I had to use it every time I could get a chance because he out of me.
But, I think of it, he's trying to say, how back in World War I, World War II, they had the kamikaze planes, that would try to, they would crash into a destroyer to try to destroy,
Yes.
That's how it was. It was a little gnat, little fly that you had to flip. But anyway, getting back to what we're here for, or what I'm here, just I'm through it all. You sustain injuries. There's no way you're not going to. I mean, it might not be apparent to you at the time, but as your body gets older, because they say that basically when you go through a football game, it's like being in a car accident. How your body, you're hitting, you're in a car accident, your body hits up against the, the car and stuff like that or whatever. So you're acquiring injuries that sometimes you don't know it. And sometimes as we were younger, we were able to sort of fight it off. You were sore, but you were only sore for 1 day and 2 days. And then the longer you play, the longer it takes your body to sort of feel better. So it went from 1 day to like you were going into the next game feeling like you were, first day after the game. So it was difficult. So what X39 especially did for me, it helped me, with my overall. So now when I wake up in the morning, I can tell when I'm not wearing it or when I forgot to put it on. I wish that they came up with one that would help me remember things, because my memory is going because of getting hit in the head all the time. But it has been a great help to me especially over the last 4 or 5 years.
Yes. Well, I'll tell you, David, the patches for the brain and for memory, and I can only imagine. I mean, I look at you guys now and the size of you even in retirement, and I think to myself, in your prime, the hits and the damage that happened to you guys and that you did to others, like I can't even imagine. And so yeah, all of the heads hitting the ground, and I know back in your day you guys probably didn't have the helmets like they even have now. Like I just don't probably think your brains were very protected. And so I mean, just to give an idea, like how many concussions in your lifetime can you even count how many you had? And I want to talk more about X39, but what is a concussion and what's it really feel like? Does it happen right on the field? Boom, you're out, and all of a sudden your brain feels fuzzy. Like, what the hey? What is that?
A concussion is the brain bruising against your skull. Is what that is. So your brain moves and it hits the sidewall, the wall of your skull, and it's damaged. Okay, so you have hemorrhaging more than likely. So the difference between now and back then when we played, if you got one of those things, you know, the test would be, they would call you, they would put you on the bench, and after they've taken you off the field, and they said, can you see these fingers, Ivory? How many fingers do I have now? And if I said 3, then they'd say, okay, go ahead. When I had 4, that didn't matter. If as long as you could basically walk is the thing, and you went back in the game. And I have seen players go through a game completely knocked out, not knowing what to do, not remembering what the plays were for the calls for the game, couldn't remember what their responsibilities were, had to actually put them in place to go play football, and they were like the physical being on the field without the brain. Literally, that's what used to happen. And it doesn't happen like that anymore. You got to go into a tent now and get taken care of, and you know, there's a process that goes through. It wasn't like that when David and I played.
So you guys, how many concussions do you think you guys had over your career?
I don't know. I mean, we back in the day we used to call them dings, and then and knockouts and stuff. So I mean, you would get dinged. You can get dinged. Depending on the hit, 3 or 4 times a game.
Every game.
Every game. And you go, because you get knocked dizzy a couple times or whatever, and you shake it off, or you don't want to disappoint your teammates because you're in there for a reason. You're in there because you're the best person to play that position. So you don't want to let your team down. So, but I mean, I've been knocked out. I mean, I've been told there was 2 times I was knocked out. When the doctors came out, I was out on the field snoring. I was like I was, not to let people know I snore, but apparently I do. So says too. But anyway, so but no, I've been knocked out quite a few times. I mean, I was knocked out and I had to go. They had to take me to the hospital. I was in Henry Ford Hospital in Detroit for 2 days after that. Now you hear about it, but back in those days you didn't hear about it. And then when I came back, they go like, "Oh, you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm okay." Then I played the next week. Now it's mandatory. If you get knocked out, you have to go through all these different testings and stuff. So that was just the day that we played, and that's the way it was. But it was no one to determine. Back in those days, the trainers and the doctors, their job was to keep you on the field, not to keep. So they were going to say, can you go? And you go, stupidly, we might say yes, and we would go. That was just, we wanted to show that we were tough and that we wasn't a wimp and all that kind of stuff. So,
well, so now, David, tell me, now that happened and you had dings 3 or 4 a game and you played for, I don't know, 12, did you say 12 years? That's probably 1,000 dings in your career or more.
Yeah,
wow.
but talking about going all the way back to high school. Okay, I mean, by the time you were in high school, you were getting hit hard enough to get dinged or whatever. I got knocked out in high school and all kinds of things. You know, it's not just a physical hit. You know, it's you and the, you know, it's like I said, you're in a car accident, you're banging your head back and forth. You know, every time you hit the ground, you're jarring your brain and your skull. So, you know, I don't know what number of times that would be, but yes. Um,
So when David, did you, okay, your career's over, you're retired, you're living your life with your family. When did you all of a sudden realize, wow, my brain has had some damage, or my knee, my knee really hurts, or, you know, like, did that happen right after you retired, or did that take some time with age? Like, you know what I mean?
yeah, I think that sometimes that because of what we had to do and how we had to get ready for the next week or the week after that and stuff like that or whatever, that sometimes we sort of like, you know, ignore certain pains and aches and stuff like that. So, but as I got older, it was harder to shake. And then as far as with the brain and stuff is concerned, you know, I know that they say, well, you know, you have issues with age, but you know, I know 90-year-old people who didn't play football that they're just as sharp as most people. Some people I might know at 40 or 45. Um, so it has to do something, you know, and it's frustrating sometimes when, you know, I could be sitting here in the house or whatever, and not that I like the cat, but I'll bring a situation up with the cat. The cat will come up and I want the cat to move, or the cat's trying to eat something that they're not supposed to try to eat, and I'll forget the cat's name. Just I'll go like, you know, go cat. I mean, it gets scary sometimes as far as the brain is concerned. But as far as the aches and pains, I think I found the answer to that with X39 and stuff. But you know, but now, you know, I'm going to see doctors and stuff like that. I got a good report yesterday that actually from my doctor when I went down about my brain, and you know,
Yeah.
so it just, you know, it was good that I had some things or whatever. So I got some things going in the positive direction that time. But you know, as far as, you know, my physical health is concerned, I feel real good with the patches that I have right here, whatever. All my, you know,
Oh, look
it's
at there, your little container.
so
Well,
it's so
yeah.
thick. I have so many patches in it, all different kind of patches to help me with all my issues and stuff. You know,
Well,
calm
Marcy,
and
did
all
we
that.
have,
oh, hold
so,
on just a second. Yeah, I'll be right back with you, Ivy. David was gonna say something. Yes, David?
Oh no, I was just saying that, you know, in that I have all my glutathione and my, you know, carnosine and all that other stuff to help me with all the different things that I need to, which keep me pretty healthy actually. I've really been pleasantly surprised with some of the other patches and stuff that I get through IceWave to help me with other issues. You know, as
And
far as,
I don't know if you're using these, but Anne, I think you may be in the background. That's that's the Pro Ballers Club's wife there in the background, maybe. But
that's,
I think David, for brain health, the patches are X39 stem cell activation, Eon to reduce inflammation, carnosine to protect the brain and for brain health. But even more importantly, David, is X49. They're really showing that that is very brain protective. So I don't know if you've added that, but you should. And then,
no,
of course, glutathione is going to help detox the chemicals out of the brain. So those would be my 5 favorites based
mhm.
on memory that your issues you're having. And I want to say, you know, for anybody listening today or listening to live or the recording, it will be our first Pro Baller Club recording. You know, concussions are real. They're a big deal for the professional athlete, for the football player. And the consequences of so much brain injury is David, you know, is having memory loss. And we just want to do our best to utilize the best combination of patches that can help that for him. I'm sorry, go ahead, David.
No, I'm good. Yeah,
Yeah.
so
So Ivory, what about you? What were you
So
gonna?
what I was going to say was, and I'm glad that you brought, all of the help that you could get with X30, X49 and X39. That's the combination that I use primarily. But with a football player, there's a 7-day period. Okay, so you have the game on Sunday, you come back on Monday and get treatment and whatever else you have to do for whatever is ailing you from the day before. And then Tuesday is your day off. And then we have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday practices. Saturday, we're traveling or whatever. And then Sunday we play another game.
Wow.
Well, with that, you find out as you get older, where the point of, well, am I okay to play on that 7th day again? Can I make it on the 7th day? And that's when you kind of know. So when you're a rookie and you're first to second year, yeah, man, all you need is, get me through to Tuesday, and then I'll be ready. By Wednesday, I'm ready to go. Okay, then you get into year 4, 5, and 6, and it's kind of like, well, Wednesday, Thursday, I got a few little things still going, but by Friday, okay, Friday and Saturday, good. Years 7, 8, 9, you barely are making it to 7 days. Okay, and that's the difference. And then when you get to 7 days and you haven't healed up from the week before, that's when that's when you get sustained some injuries for your life, I think. And so I'm telling you, the things that the items that you just identified for brain health, that's one of the reasons why I do this thing, because I truly.
And it's interesting, Ivory, because some of the NFL players today, when I never knew the 7-day schedule. And when you start as a young rookie in NFL, let's just say, how old were you when you started the NFL, Ivory?
21.
How old were you, David?
I was 20.
God, you guys were so young. Okay, so when you were rookies and young, you were ready, 7 days ready for the next game. 7 days ready for the next game. And
Right.
that's because you were young and your stem cells were still working. You guys at age 20 and 21 had full stem cell activation.
Right.
But here's the deal. At age 30, we lose 50% of our stem cells. And by age 60, they're almost all gone. And what are stem cells? Well, they're the only cells in your body that are changeable. They can change into whatever cell your body needs for repair. So when you guys were rookies, when you were 20 in the NFL, those stem cells were looking at the inflammation in your body. They were saying, oh, you got the hit here in the shoulder, or David got one here and he had a concussion that day, or in the knee, wherever you guys, you get hit multiple times, obviously, but your stem cells would hone in like honing birds into the inflammation. And then they would turn into the cells you needed for repair. And then they would march and do it for the next part. And then they would do it for the next part. So day 7, you guys are ready to go because your stem cells repaired everything. But now you're in your 9th year, Ivory. David's in his 12th year, 10th year. Now you're in your early 30s. Guess what? Those stem cells aren't repairing the injuries very well anymore.
That's right.
That's exactly what happened.
That's right.
So what happens if you're a rookie watching this in the NFL today and you put a non-invasive, non-transdermal patch on your body? By the way, this is activated by light. Okay, so this is how it works. It has a organic crystal in it, and it reflects back your own light wave to activate your stem cells, make more stem cells, and reset them to be young again, all through light, through photobiomodulation, light making change in your body. So what happens if a rookie football player today put on the X39, put on the X49 for lean muscle mass, Eon for inflammation, and glutathione for detox, as an example. What would happen? Just X39, X49, Ivory. It's possible that their stem cells would act young even as they get older. So they're young now at 20. By the time they're 30, their stem cells are still working because this has been activated.
Yep.
Right? Like maybe this is a form of protection for the rookies moving into 25, 28, 30. What happens if a 30-year-old NFL player who's still playing had these patches on? Shoot, what happens if, who's our quarterback? What happens if Tom Brady was wearing them right now? Could he have more years? You know, like what do you think about that?
I'm already played more years than he probably should have, but oh, sorry.
Oh my goodness gracious, you know you're on live. I hope he doesn't get mad at you.
Oh, it's fine. He knows he played a long time. He played a long time. I mean, those careers weren't even around when we were playing. I mean, there was nobody that played that long. I mean, I thought that Jackie Slater that we played with when I came to the Rams, I thought he played the longest. I think Jackie played like 20 years, 19 years or something like that.
Yep, that's right.
Wow. So that means, that means he played into his 40s. So most of the guys stop by the time they're 30. Some of the guys play up until 40. How old is Tom Brady? Has he played? Is he 45 now? Has he played
40,
that?
43.
No,
No,
45.
I think he's 45.
Oh, he is 45. That's right. That's right. He's 45. Sorry.
Well,
Yeah.
all I know, NFLers, the NFL needs X39. They all need it.
That's right. That's right.
Some X49s. I haven't tried those yet.
Yeah, you should try those, David. They're good. They're really.
Yeah. Yeah, it will build your lean muscle mass, and AHK is the daughter peptide to GHK, and AHK peptide lives in the brain and the heart. So when you activate AHK, you're activating lean muscle mass building. So what if we could build your lean muscle mass in your brain where some of the concussion memory issues are, David? Definitely. We want to add that for you and all the NFL players. If I was going to say, what do NFL players need, whether they're retired or whether they're rookies or whether they're 25, 30, 40, 45, it would be our performance pack, X39, X49. X39 is going to activate your stem cells to turn into the cells you need to repair, like you did when you were 20. The reason when you got hit every day when you were 21, you could get back and go to a game again 7 days later. That's because your stem cells were working. X39 would make your stem cells work like you're young again. And X49, because it builds lean muscle mass. You guys, whether you're retired NFL or playing NFL, need lean muscle mass for your body. And more importantly, David, for your brain. You guys need your brain muscle solid so you can take the hits. Let's be honest about what this game is. You guys are taking massive hits to the head.
Yeah.
Wow, we're getting more people excited about our Pro Ballers Club. This is kind of our first Zoom, and thank you for just kind of popping in. We got NFL, we got our new Pro Ballers Club, 11:30 to 12:30. We have Ivory Sully, NFL Rams. We have David Hill, NFL Detroit Lions. Oh, by the way, and I should know this, who's playing who this weekend and who's winning and why?
It's next weekend.
Well,
Next weekend. Thank you, Ann.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you, we have another guy that's in our Pro Ballers Club, Nick Lowry, who used to kick field goals for the Kansas City Chiefs, and the Kansas City Chiefs are in the Super Bowl this year against the Philadelphia Eagles. So I look very much forward to having Nick join us here on this on the club, in the club.
Well, Nick better be in the club after the Super Bowl so he can tell us how it went. Who has the better record right now?
Philadelphia.
Ooh, but you're rooting for the Chiefs, or Nick will be very upset with you.
Nick's going to have to be, I think, a little upset.
Are you rooting for the Philadelphia?
I'm an East Coast boy. I went to school at University of Delaware, which is 20 minutes from Philadelphia. Come on, I've always been an Eagles guy. Even when I played against them, I kind of like thought that was kind of great. I thought that was kind of cool when I played in Veterans Stadium. I just I loved it. So hey, look, you can't change who you are. You can just be what you are and be true to yourself, and that's what I am. I love Nick, but sorry, yo.
David, who are you rooting for?
I think Kansas City's going to win the game.
Ooh.
There you
Okay,
go.
I have another question for you guys. Oh my God, this is so much fun. Okay, let's talk about this. Okay, I don't even know if you can say this. Who are your 3 favorite players right now in the league and why? Can I ask that? Is that okay?
Wow, that's a good question.
Yeah. I don't know if I have it.
You know what? Here's the thing. Okay, David, you tell me if I'm not right about this. So it used to be that, and I watch NFL football, religiously. It's not like I'm not a fan. I'm definitely a fan. However, and this might be my brain not adjusting. I might tell you, but for crying out loud, I don't even know the guys that are playing on the field these days. The generational thing has definitely happened, and I'm out of the generation. I don't even know. I could tell you one of my favorite players is Jalen Ramsey. Jalen Ramsey is a very talented guy. He's got athleticism and he's a little bit nasty. No, he's a little bit more than nasty. He's nasty. He can take you to the pit.
And what's his name?
Jalen Ramsey. He plays with the Rams and he's a cornerback.
Wow.
But he's a very, I really like the way
he plays.
Yeah, and I will tell you, I love the way the quarterback with the Philadelphia Eagles plays. And the fact of the matter is he was an underdog, and he beat the odds. I like guys that beat the odds because that's how I got into the league. I had to beat the odds. So this guy proved himself, and now he's on top of it. And I really hope that he wins. And for reasons that are I want to do it for the right reason, and I like the guy. So there you go. There's my top.
Love that. And David, do you have a favorite team or a favorite player right now?
No, I don't have a favorite team. I mean, I like watching the games or whatever, but I probably watch the games more like a coach or whatever than anything. I'm watching guys on on their technique and stuff like that because I was more of a technician when it came to whether it be blocking or I watch guys when they're running routes and stuff. I mean, obviously my favorite position is tight end, so I look more at the tight ends around the league and how they're doing and you have pass receiving tight ends and you have blocking tight ends and so to me a complete tight end is one that does both. And there's probably a couple, I think Kelsey and Kansas City is one that does both. There's like 3 or 4 really good tight ends that do both. And so that's what I look for. And I don't try to analyze or anything about who's the best team and things of that nature. So I'm more, I look at the people that do all the grungy work, not the guys that score the touchdowns or throw the ball into the stands because they had a 1-yard run into the for a touchdown or whatever, because there's a lot of offensive linemen and tight ends that did a lot of work to get them down there. So I
love that. And David, how is golf? Are you still playing quite a bit of golf? I know that is your love after football. How's golf going for you?
Yeah, golf is good. I mean, I can tell when I didn't put my patches on and stuff like that or whatever because my back is a little tight. But other than that, I'm able to still go out and play golf. I'm not playing it very well right now, so it's sort of sore for me. But I play it well enough to enjoy it. And my nemesis Eric Dickerson or whatever, he's left-handed. I'm left-handed, and so he's my nemesis on the golf course, and he's been beating up on me pretty good. And he talks a lot of trash. So I've had.
And who is this again? What's his name?
Eric Dickerson.
He's like famous.
Hill is famous.
Well, I, like I said, I look at a game a different way or whatever. Yeah, he's famous or whatever, but I told him that, he has about 5 or 6 people he needs to give that little medal with, or that jacket. We should wear it at least a couple days a year.
What jacket does he have? Is he a Hall of Famer?
Yeah.
Yes.
What team did Eric play? What team did Eric play on? I should know that.
No, he played with, well, he started with the Rams. When I came from Detroit, he was here with the Rams, and he was here with the Rams, and then he went to Indianapolis and some other places. Oh, Raiders and stuff. So.
You were brought in to specifically
Yeah.
block for him.
Yeah, so I came here the year he was a rookie.
You
And-
came in to block for Eric Dickerson?
Well, I didn't know that. I didn't even know they were going to draft Eric Dickerson at the time. I was coming out to the West Coast because I wanted to come to LA, get out of Detroit. So it was good. I enjoyed coming out and even blocking for him and stuff like that. But
What position did Eric play?
Eric was the running back. He was the Hall of Fame running back.
Oh, he's a Hall of Fame running back.
Look,
I
David.
can't tell me.
David came to Los Angeles to formulate the best offensive line in the National Football League. He was part of it. The reason why Eric did so well when he was with the Rams, and he started out hot as a rookie, and he came, because I was there when that all happened, it was because of guys like David Hill and Jackie Slater and Dennis Hara, and we had the best offensive line, and they blocked their butts off for Eric Dickerson, who was, and we were all coached by a legendary coach, John Robinson, that came to the Rams to coach in his first professional team after being at USC forever and developing all these running backs through the years. Marcus Allen. I mean, you can go back. You can go back and get guys that John Robinson coached, and they were all running backs, and that was a perfect marriage for David and for Eric.
Was that the year? Were you guys all at the Rams when you went to the Super Bowl? Was that the year you all went together? Were you all playing together when that happened?
No.
I went to the Super Bowl in 1979, my rookie year.
Wow. That's amazing.
David didn't make it, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know.
That's all right. He played longer. He had 12 years of play. That's huge.
Well, yeah. I don't know. When I look back at it, I don't know if that was a smart thing to do or not. Nowadays, you don't have to play that long. Back then you had to play that long to take a little extra money. Now you play 3 years. That's why these guys are playing 3 years and they're out. And they don't sustain some of the injuries that we had to play as long as we could back in the day. Yep.
Well, it was a different day. They weren't paying like they do today. And so for you to make a living and save the money, you needed to work more, which put your bodies in jeopardy. But I don't necessarily think that you probably knew, or we know today, what was gonna happen to you guys for that. You know what I mean?
Right. No, I agree. And the game is different now. Back then the game was pretty physical because, a lot of teams like to run. And like I said, they weren't as tight on the way you got hit or the way you got tackled, as long as you don't grab somebody by the face mask. And now they're a little bit more protected, which is good. I'm glad they are. So, it was just a different time. It's like, I look at some of these old movies and stuff, and they see these old gladiator movies. I don't know if I'd ever been a good gladiator going in. They try to sometimes compare football to being a gladiator, and I'm like, I don't know. Guy walking in there with a big sharp sword, trying to stick it in your belly. I'm not sure if I'd be that type, but I enjoyed the years I played, and to me it was worthwhile. I met some really great people, and then I met Ivory, and I don't know, but
Well, I'm I just love today because it was our very first day of our Pro Ballers Club. We have Micah on, and Micah is a speed and endurance coach, and he's a coach in track and field. So this is the Pro Ballers Club, is our very first day, and we just are talking NFL. But Micah, maybe you would like to talk for a moment about what you do as a trainer of track and field. Different discipline, but what I envision us being one day is the club of athletes. Would you like to unmute yourself and say hello?
Hey Marcy, wow, I saw this on Facebook and I thought it was a recording,
Ah,
but I'm like, it's live, let me get on.
it's
Amazing.
live. It's our very first. Meet Ivory Sully. He's NFL pro from the Rams. David Hill, NFL pro from Detroit Lions. Ivory 9 years in the league. David 12. And we're talking football.
Yeah, football, wow. So I played football and wish I could have kept playing, but I had some knee issues, double knee surgery when I was 10. And you know, that's my life wave story started years later when I actually made it through and ran some college track, ran some professional, and someone put ice wave on my knee after a race, and my knee was as big as a softball, and instantly the pain was gone. And I've been studying the patches ever since then, 2006. But yeah, I actually worked with a lot of speed guys in the NFL. John Ross worked out at my gym and did my speed circuit, and then broke the record at the at the NFL Combine months later. So you know, football is a big love for me. It got me into wanting to be fast, and you know, speed became my thing. But I've been putting athletes on patch protocols going back many years. Justin Gatlin was patched up when he beat Usain Bolt for that last race when before Bolt retired. So yeah, it's amazing to connect. The X39 is what got me in the company because stem cells is really big. So you know, I know who you guys are. I've followed football all my life, most of my life, and you know, it made me, you know, the athlete I am today because I fell in love with training, being in the weight room, and just love it, Marcy. So yeah, thanks for bringing me to the call, and I'd love to share some future things because I got some athletes coming in that are going to go after, you know, another record in that 40. So I'm working with some speed guys and some more Olympic sprinters.
I'll tell you,
Well,
Ivory played
yeah, man.
safety in NFL. So he was speed and weight. Did I do that right? Speed and weight?
Yeah, you're right.
Speed and
You're right.
power.
Did
And
you
power.
call it heat and power?
So that's right. Speed times mass equals power. That's exactly right. That's the equation.
Say it
And
again. Speed.
Speed times you know, weight
Mass.
is equal to power. Okay. All right. That's power. You create power. And so the thing is I'm so glad that that you put a try on. I love track, and you know, it was always about speed, and we had some speed on ran with Ron Brown, who was an Olympic gold medalist, the 4x1, and you know, speed kills, man. Speed kills in the NFL. That's the bottom line.
Who's Ron Brown? Was he a track guy that moved over to football?
Ron Brown was a guy that went to the University of Arizona. He played football first, and he played track second, and he did track second. But you know, on the way to going to the NFL, he stopped off in 1984 at the Olympics at the Coliseum, and you know, and they set a world record. You know, so you know, yeah, Ron Brown. Now, not too much, not too much.
Wow.
Yeah, I know Ron is. Yeah, amazing athlete, and I've ran into him, you know, in health networking. Maybe we can get him on one of the calls, and you guys can help us, you know, break down what the patches are doing, you know, for a lot of the top athletes, you know,
Yeah.
looking for natural ways.
Yeah,
Ron's
I just I talk to Ron all the time or whatever. I just talked to him yesterday actually. He's doing well. He's doing well. So
David, you know every single NFL player.
All right, well, not everyone, but I'm old enough to know everyone. I guess I
He
should
just
say.
was on the phone with Ron Brown yesterday. I know Ron, I was talking to him yesterday. Well,
Yeah.
Ron Brown needs to come to the Ballers Club next week. We want him and Nick talking to us. I want so many NFLers and coaches and racetrack people. Wouldn't that be fun?
Careful what you ask for because we know him, and David does too. David knows him, so be careful what you ask for.
Okay, I'll make this deal. Any NFL player that comes and talks with us on Thursdays, any of them, get a free X39 and X49 from me, David Hill. Did you hear that?
There we go.
A
Oh,
sleeve.
I was about to say.
I want Ron Brown here next week. I want Nick. I want
Nick Lowry.
Lowry here next week. I want one of our track stars here next week. I want sports. You know what this reminds me of? Okay, I'm so weird, but I feel like we're kind of one of those sport broadcast people right now. You know, those guys that like talk or under the by the table.
We're doing a podcast. That's what
I know, but can't we pretend like we're like NFL sport? You know, whatever. I'm being weird.
I have a brother that does that. I don't want to be that. Yeah, 49s. I'll go with X39s because I need some. I've never tried them. I want to try them.
Okay, David, I will not make you be your brother. Okay.
Okay.
By the way, his brother. Can I say what your brother's name is?
It's up to you.
It's Hill. It's Fred Hill, right?
Jim Hill.
I mean, David's connected to everybody famous. It's crazy. Everybody famous knows David. Okay, so
But-
go ahead.
His name is not Fred. It's Jim.
It's Jim. I had the name wrong. How embarrassing. Can I say, David, that I had 1,000 concussions and that's why I've forgotten? Is that okay?
I think you need to put X49. I think that's what.
I think I need to put the X49 on. David, I will be sending you an X49 to help with that memory that you have issues with. It's 1227. This is our first Pro Ballers Club. We will be here every Thursday from 11:30 to 12:30. The first 30 minutes, we're just gonna talk sports. We're gonna talk football. We're gonna talk speed. And we're gonna talk stem cell technology. The second 30 minutes, we're gonna do other things. We're going to do the business. We may actually take the team and do calls and share our technology. We may talk compensation plan. This is going to be the Pro Ballers Club where we talk about the patches, but we also do work together. So once again, the first 30 minutes will always be talking the technology, talking NFL, talking professional. You guys may all invite professional folks to this call, as my vision of this call is to be, some of you go to the 9 a.m. practitioner call in the morning. I want this to be our NFL call, our sports, our coaching call, like our professional athletes time together. And both Ivory and David, both professional NFL players, have committed to doing this with me once a week so that we can reach the professional athlete. Mike, I haven't asked you. I'd love to have you commit with us as a coach. And now we have 3. From 3, we will have then 6 professionals and everyone else who would like to be a part of the athletic piece of our business. David, Ivory, do you have anything to add? We've just spent an hour.
Yeah. Hey, I just want to thank everybody for their time. Next week, I'm going to bring in Rod Perry. I don't know if you guys know who Rod Perry is. Rod Perry was a longtime Ram cornerback, all pro, just a great player. So I'm going to be bringing him. I'm going to try to get Nick Lowry in here. Well, we might not even next week be able to get Nick in because he's busy with the Super Bowl, I know. So that might be 2 weeks off. But anyway, just stay tuned for it. We're going to be bringing him in, and we're going to be seeding them with LifeWave and getting them right, getting their body right.
And maybe we could have David, you could see if Ron wants to come in and talk speed next week, and we'll get him an X39, X49 sleeve as well. Just know, when you bring some of the pro ballers in, I'm happy to support that, as I would love, I really see this, Ivory and David, as helping the guys that are retired, X39, X49. I think that's our message for our athletes, but also the current guys playing. How do we reach them? Because if we can get them the technology now, they may not have the issues that are happening to some of the guys that are a little bit older, right? Because they'll be able to protect themselves. So maybe we can think about how we get that out to some of the younger players as prevention. Am I making sense?
Absolutely.
Okay, very good. So we will thank you all for coming to the Pro Ballers Club. And this is where NFL, professional athlete, and coaches talk about their experience in professional sports, the stem cell technology, and then of course we will be spending some time working together. I would like half of the time in this call where we go to work, and next week we'll do 30 minutes of talking and 30 minutes of working. And if you guys want me to share this further out, I can broadcast this out to more people next week. Do you? We can talk about that later, but we can bring more to the club if we so desire. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you
Right.
so much. Have a great day. David, thank you for coming. Anne, thank you for being here. I know you're there. We love you. Ivory, thank you. Micah, thank you. And thank you all for coming. This was our first Pro Ballers Club, and you guys found us, and it is on Facebook Live, and we will set a recording. It was so good. Go send it to some athletes. Have them start utilizing our patches as NFL players are already doing. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Bye.